For years, the U.S. intelligence community has treated unauthorized disclosures of classified or sensitive information as a near existential threat, with officials repeatedly denouncing figures like Edward Snowden, Chelsea Manning, and Julian Assange for endangering national security through leaks. The standard line has always been that intelligence cannot function without airtight secrecy, and breaches must be pursued with the utmost severity. Yet when conservative activist Christopher Rufo publicly exposed internal NSA chatroom discussions, effectively leaking secure work-related communications, there was no massive DOJ investigation into how he obtained them. There was no hunt for the source, no charges of espionage, no high-profile arrests. Instead, the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, responded by immediately firing over 100 intelligence personnel and publicly shaming them for engaging in obscene conversations. This glaring double standard should alarm anyone paying attention. When leaks embarrass or challenge the intelligence community from the outside, the response is relentless pursuit and prosecution. When leaks serve an internal political agenda, the response is not to investigate the breach, but to purge the employees the disclosure was designed to target. This is not about security, it is about selective enforcement, ideological policing, and a dangerous politicization of intelligence operations. The specific chat rooms in question were part of the NSA's secure Interlink platform, a system intended to facilitate interagency communication. Reports indicate that these spaces included LGBTQ+ social groups, and that conversations ranged from personal topics like gender transitions and relationships to sexually explicit discussions. While the precise nature of the conversations remains largely unverified, there has been no suggestion that these employees were engaged in criminal activity, leaking classified information, or discussing anything that would compromise intelligence operations. Rather, these forums likely served an unofficial function, strengthening interagency relationships. With 18 separate agencies in the intelligence community, informal social networks can be just as critical as formal bureaucratic structures. Developing interpersonal trust across agencies fosters better collaboration, faster information sharing, and more effective intelligence work. If anything, leadership should have seen this as a natural mechanism for enhancing operational cohesion. Instead, it was dismantled overnight. The repercussions of this mass firing go beyond punishing the individuals involved. The ripple effects will weaken intelligence operations in many ways. It begins with the loss of institutional knowledge. The intelligence community operates on specialized expertise developed over years of service. By firing over 100 trained personnel, leadership has not only severed relationships, but has also discarded years of accumulated knowledge and operational experience. It continues with the destruction of informal networks. Intelligence professionals frequently rely on personal relationships to cut through bureaucratic red tape. By eliminating an entire social ecosystem, leadership has ensured that future collaboration will be slower, colder, and more difficult. The firings will have a chilling effect on communication. This incident has set a precedent. Any internal conversation, no matter how seemingly private or mundane, can be leaked and weaponized. The result? Intelligence personnel will self-censor, hesitate to engage in casual exchanges, and avoid socializing altogether. Decreased camaraderie leads to declining morale and institutional trust. The rapid and public nature of these firings sends a clear message to intelligence employees. Leadership will not protect you, and they will sacrifice you the moment it serves a political or ideological purpose. This breeds resentment, disengagement, and a workforce that operates out of fear rather than commitment. This entire situation highlights an absurd contradiction in the intelligence community's stance on leaks. For the past 2 decades, leadership has insisted that even seemingly minor disclosures of internal intelligence material must be met with severe punishment. Yet here, a politically convenient leak has resulted in the firing of employees, not an investigation into the breach itself. Compare this to past intelligence leaks. Snowden, Manning, and Assange were all pursued aggressively for exposing government misconduct. Officials argued that even revealing non-classified material could harm national security. Journalists covering intelligence failures have often been harassed, subpoenaed, and surveilled under the guise of national security concerns. Low-level intelligence personnel accused of mishandling information, even unintentionally, have faced criminal charges and ruined careers. Yet in this case, a leak exposing internal intelligence communications, on a secure platform no less, was met not with a full-scale counterintelligence investigation but with a politically motivated purge of employees whose personal conversations were deemed inappropriate. This suggests that the true concern is not security but control. The intelligence community does not function in a vacuum. It relies on human relationships, trust, and cooperation between agencies. By cracking down on an internal social network while ignoring the breach that made it public, leadership has actively undermined its own workforce. A rational approach would have investigated the source of the leak and held the responsible party accountable. It would have examined the chat room culture to determine if any actual operational misconduct occurred, and it would have issued guidelines on professional communication while maintaining spaces for interagency relationship building. Instead, leadership chose the most destructive option, terminating personnel en masse, creating a culture of fear, and ensuring that future intelligence cooperation will be worse, not better. This is not about professionalism. It is about purging personnel based on an ideologically driven agenda, while selectively ignoring the very security principles the intelligence community has long claimed to uphold. The intelligence workforce just received a chilling lesson. Loyalty to the mission does not matter. Only loyalty to the prevailing politics of leadership does. By any logical standard, the handling of this situation has been self-defeating. If interagency collaboration suffers in the coming years, if intelligence failures increase because analysts are afraid to communicate informally, if morale continues to decline, this moment will be part of the reason why. The intelligence community has spent years telling the public that leaks are a dire threat to national security. If they truly believed that, they would be investigating the source of this leak, not punishing its victims. The fact that they did not should tell you everything you need to know about what this was really about.